Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm gonna check out a problem that I have been overlooking for quite some time, and that is going to be the headlights. They work, but I didn't realize, because I guess I don't drive a lot at night, that my beam pattern, it aims down pretty steep, so I don't really see that far. I didn't really realize how bad my headlights were until, I went into my wife's car and it's like, wow, these headlights are pretty good, and noticed when I was near a wall or something that the cutoff line seems to be pretty close to the car, which makes it pretty useless, especially so on the left side. I know it's supposed to go down a bit so you don't blind oncoming drivers, but at this angle I'm not seeing anyone that will be approaching my car anyway, so I need to fix that. But first, before we get into that, I need to, since it has the self-leveling headlights, I need to check the sensors just to make sure they're okay. I'm not exactly sure which corner it's on, so I'm going to check all the corners and then let you know where it's at and how it looks. Alright, so I turned the wheel all the way inwards just to get a better view, and it seems like, yeah, there's no sensor here on the driver's side. Well, I can tell in there it kind of looks pretty shiny, so that is probably a oil leak that I need to address. And I kind of knew this for a little bit. It's like the oil pan gasket, but my mechanic said probably just wait a little bit more till it gets worse to do it. So not sure when to do it, but probably sometime soon. All right, so I moved on to the passenger side here, and here it is. Here's the sensor, and everything seems to be intact, nothing broken, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't think I saw this on the driver's side, so yeah, that's good news. So I already checked the driver's side, and I don't think it's over there at all, since I seem to have found it here on the passenger side again. If you just follow this arm all the way back, you should see that right there. And I'll probably watch this back and just see if everything's okay. And for what it seems like, everything's good, so I can start the beam aligning process. Alright everyone, so now that we know where the sensors are, the front and the back on the passenger side, I kind of have an idea of how it works. With the suspension going either up and down to know like the bumps or the load that it has, because it might, obviously the car would tilt up and down, so the headlight would go obviously up and down with it to adjust the tilt of the car. But I still don't know exactly how it works, so I kind of thought of an idea to test this out. I'm guessing that I don't know if it only adjusts levels on startup or it does it continuously, and I just wanted to test that out, because if it only adjusts on startup, I'm going to start the car and then put down some tape onto where the line is, and then hopefully that cardboard is far enough to notice, and then I'm gonna raise the rear so there would be less load in the back, so it's gonna be tilting down, and then so the light should be going lower than the initial point, which will mark down by the tape. But if it stays at the same level, then I know that the sensors and the headlight are continuously adjusting, or it might do it like every minute refresh or something. I'm not too sure, so I'm just gonna test it out and see how it goes, and hopefully, like I said, that's far enough to actually detect a tilt in the back to make a difference. So let's see how this will go. You see that already moving up and down. Alright, so I'm gonna mark the top of the left one and the bottom of the right one. Alright, let's go lift up the car. Alright, so I lifted it up a bit. Let's see if it made a difference. Look at my wheel gap, probably raised an inch. And I guess looking at it, you can definitely see the gap that when I put down the tape. So maybe it only does it right when you start the car. Let's see if this changes over time. So I'm gonna leave it right here. Okay, surprisingly, it looks like it is adjusting very slowly though. So I guess the headlight does adjust back to where it started over time, I think. And hopefully my eyes don't deceive me that it was moving. So I guess since it was lower, the beam lowered and then it raised up. Now I'm just gonna leave the camera here and drop the car back down in the back and see if, well, we're obviously gonna see the light go back up because of the tilt of the car. Let's see if it auto levels back down the light to adjust that. So it'll be interesting to see. All right, so putting the car back on the ground, it seems like it's back to where it was. Not sure if there is any difference there, but I'm actually going to give this another try. I'll be right back. Alright, so you obviously see the headlight tilt down. I swear I just saw it move right now. So let's see if how much it comes back up over time, or if it even does. Oh yeah, that definitely moved. Okay, so I think I've seen enough movement to have enough evidence to know that it does readjust back to the original spot. Let's see how much it does get back to the original spot though. I don't know how much movement it has since I kind of raised it pretty high, probably like 3 inches off the ground in the back. Alright, it does seem like it has stopped moving and did not get back to its original point, but you know, it was interesting that it did continuously calibrate to try to get back to level. I am going to put the vehicle back on the ground, so the headlight should be above the tape and then lower, and let's see if that happens. Okay, I dropped the car back into the ground, but it seems like the light is back to its original position. I don't know if it adjusted that fast that I missed it when I came back. I'll just have to rewatch the video and see what happens. And I'm not really sure. Maybe it calibrated itself that fast. So yeah, very interesting. So I'm deciding to do the opposite test and raise the front of the car and see if it drops back down. And I'm just gonna raise the front right one because that's where the sensor is. So hope it's probably more sensitive there to that change in, what do you call it, tilt or whatever. So yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so you can definitely see that the light is above the tape right now, and I think it was below the tape. I haven't seen it drop yet. Let's give it some time, just like how the back did. Alright, I guess it hasn't moved, so I'm gonna drop it back on the ground, see if there's any difference right now. I'm not so sure, but it seems like when it was high, tilted up, it did lower a little bit because, yeah, as you can tell, it was below the tape right a second ago, and now it just popped back up a little bit. I think there's just some limitations on how much it can move down or up, or, you know, or maybe I'm not simulating it correctly, but, you know, it's kind of a good indicator to show that it's working. So yeah, great news. I'm gonna wait until it gets dark out and then we can go adjust the beams. In the meantime, I got the headlight height, which is about 23 inches off the ground, and the distance from the center is about 25. Made sure my tank was about half full to give it that average load on the suspension. Then I made sure my tires were up to pressure, so now I'm good to go. Alright, now that it's night, I just pulled up really close to the wall so I could line up the center of the car really easily. Then I backed it up to about 2 or 3 feet and put the vertical tape's left edge 25 inches away from the center of the center tape, if that makes sense to you. Then I put the top of the horizontal tape 23 inches off the ground so that the upper corner is where the beam should start to kink up if there was no drop. Then I measured 2 inches down because that's where we want to aim our beam when we get 25 feet away. This is just some general guideline I found on the internet, and I'm assuming so that the headlight doesn't veer upwards a long distance down the road. Alright, so I have my 25-foot mark here that I need to back up to, and with my wife in the driver's seat so that the driver's load is taken into account while I'm adjusting the beam. Yeah, so as you can see, at 25 feet, it should be about 2-inch drop. So, from my measurements, it should be above this tape. So I need to adjust this side and that side to get it back up to where it needs to be. After some quick adjustments, it seems that the left light
is where I want it to be. Now moving on to the right. And if you didn't know already, Lefty Lucy made the beams go up for me.
Alright, so I finished adjusting my headlights and it looks so much better. As you can tell from before, it is now lined up at the bottom piece of tape. And it seemed like the left and right alignment was pretty good because you can tell that kink was pretty much almost spot on, at least on the left side of the cutoff, and then it just flattens out. If you remember how low it was, and even for the right, it seems like it could go to the right a little bit. The kink seems to be there instead of here. I could like align that, but I'm not sure if it's too big of a deal. And I think I did a good job because the tops of this seem to line up too. So this is way better, and yeah, the driving experience is going to be so much better. I'll let you know if the automatic leveling messes this back up, so if it was pointless or not, but I really don't think so because it seems like it hasn't moved since then.
Now compared to where it was before, I can finally see things coming on the left side of my car. And I know it may seem a bit too high in this replay, but I just realized by watching this back that the ground is pretty uneven with my light bobbing up and down while reversing, so I could be on a high spot here. I'll definitely try to find smooth level ground later to check up on my work. Anyways, taking a quick drive, I don't see the left cutoff line in front of me on the road anymore like it used to, so that's great. And sorry I don't have a before and after video of this either.
Alright, about to start my car again, and let's see where the headlights are going to line up. Alright, it seemed like it went pretty far. It hit that fence and at waist level, so pretty happy about it. Cool. So I just took a quick drive just to see like how the lights looked from a distance, like bouncing off the buildings, and it seems like the low part, which is, you know, that side, inside left, right side right now, is still on average seems to be pretty low, so doesn't seem like it's blinding people. And I'm looking at it right now, the human eye doesn't seem blinding at all. Just how like what we saw on the wall on to other people, the oncoming traffic is definitely getting more bright once I move towards the left, which is the right side of the car. It looks pretty bright now and stays pretty bright here, and it seems like we're out of the hot spot area, and yeah, not too bad, I think. So I think overall it's successful. Definitely helped. I'm not sure if that kink up and the extra level is because the bulb I chose, but I'm pretty happy with the adjustments because the bulbs I had. Maybe I should put the OEM one on just to compare, but I'll see in the future. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's just way better to drive now at night. A lot more I can see. So thanks for coming along with me in this journey, and I'll see you next time.